Samsung's next big processor is finally here, and the news has arrived earlier than expected. After months of leaks and speculation, it's now confirmed that the Exynos 2600, built on a 2nm process, has already entered mass production. This is huge because it likely means the Galaxy S26 series, launching in 2026, will feature Samsung's in-house chip again, marking the real return of Exynos. To see why this is such a big deal, let's look at what happened before. Samsung had planned to power the Galaxy S25 series with the Exynos 2500, but that chip faced major problems with Samsung's 3nm process. Production yields were too low, performance wasn't stable, and the chip just wasn't ready in time. As a result, Samsung dropped Exynos from the S25 lineup and used Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Elite for every model worldwide. It was the first time in years that every Galaxy flagship shipped with Snapdragon only. The Exynos 2500 did eventually show up later in the year with the Galaxy Z Flip 7. But by then, the excitement was gone. That failure made many people doubt whether Samsung could still compete with Qualcomm and TSMC in the chip-making business. This is why the Exynos 2600 is so important. Instead of giving up, Samsung put all its focus into the 2nm process. Now, reports say the chip is not only ready, but also went into production earlier than expected. The yields may not be as good as TSMC's yet, but they're strong enough for Samsung to move ahead confidently. This is why many believe the Galaxy S26 will mark Exynos' big comeback. The big question now is how Samsung will divide the chips. In the past, the company used a split strategy: Snapdragon for some regions, Exynos for others. Leaks suggest that the US and South Korea will stick with Snapdragon, while other regions could get the Exynos 2600, but the final decision isn't clear yet. As reports conflict on the details, what is clear is that Samsung wants this chip to succeed. To make that happen, the company has even cut the prices of its 2nm wafers. This is a direct challenge to TSMC, the industry leader. By lowering costs, Samsung hopes to attract more clients and prove that its foundry business can compete at the top level. So what can we expect from the Exynos 2600? While detailed benchmarks haven't leaked yet, early reports say we'll see major improvements in both performance and efficiency. The 2nm process allows for better power management, which should mean longer battery life on Galaxy S26 devices. It also boosts overall performance, putting the chip on the same playing field as Qualcomm's upcoming Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. Of course, not everyone is convinced. Fan polls show mixed reactions. About 30% of Galaxy fans are excited to try the new Exynos, around 50% still prefer Snapdragon, and 20% don't really care either way. This shows that Samsung still has to rebuild trust. Since Exynos has often underperformed in the past compared to Snapdragon, one complication is that even though the Exynos 2600 looks strong, early leaks of the Galaxy S26's design haven't been received very well. Some fans feel that the S26 Edge and S26 Ultra redesigns don't really improve much, and in some cases, they make the phones look less premium. That could hurt excitement, even if the new chip performs well. Still, Samsung's decision to bring Exynos back is bold. After the disappointment of the 2500, the company clearly wants to show that it can compete with the best. The fact that the Exynos 2600 is in production early proves how serious Samsung is about making the Galaxy S26 series stand out. If the chip delivers on its promises, this could be one of the biggest comebacks in smartphone history. But if it fails again, it might force Samsung to rely on Snapdragon for many more years. For now, all eyes are on the Galaxy S26 launch in 2026, when we'll finally see whether the Exynos 2600 lives up to the hype or falls short.